Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice, as we're almost about to wrap up bracket number 1 to find out our 3 players from this bracket who are going to be moving on to the group stage at Spodek, as well as the auditorium, of course. Let's check in with the bracket and see what has gone on so far down the line with all of these players playing against one another. So, of course, up towards the top of the bracket, we've had Stats and Harstem do very well for themselves moving on forward. And now we have one final match to decide who's going to be moving on. And it wouldn't be a tournament without Team Liquid versus Team Liquid, boys, as we have TLO going up against Snute.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun match, and that prediction that IEM Katowice was teasing me about, just a couple of best of 3s, is actually looking pretty good right now, James, because I believe 2 of my guys have already qualified, and the other one was one best of 3 away. But it's not going to be an easy one, not at all for Snute, especially when it comes to a Team Liquid KO, as we say, and they recently had a boot camp together as well, and we know that like Jens and TLO are absolutely not guys that would hold back by the idea of maybe I will play this guy soon, so I'm not going to tell him everything. No, they are an open book to each other. So it's obviously going to be kind of a weird series. A lot of mind games will be involved, but it should be a fun one. Yeah,
obviously these 2 players know each other very well, Tasteless, but there's got to be a lot of mind games involved in terms of how well they know each other, especially going into a Zerg versus Zerg, potentially.
Yeah, I feel like, and I don't want to discount how good TLO is at macro, because he's really good, but I do feel like you're going to have more of an edge the more you played with him and the more you've discussed the way the TLO looks at the game. Look, this guy has always looked at StarCraft II a little bit differently than anybody in the entire world. But I think the fact that Snute has so much access to that does maybe put TLO at a little bit of a disadvantage here. I don't feel like if we had 10 orthodox macro games, ZvZ, that TLO would win more.
Right.
Basically.
I mean, Smix alluded to their win rate against one another just in the interview prior, which is 21 maps to 21 maps, 8 series in favor for Dario compared to the 7 for Snute. So as much as I think we all look at Snute as the guy who was able to do so well in Zerg versus Zerg, it's very clear that TLO's mind is the thing that is able to propel himself forwards against Snute, right?
ZvZ is not ZvZ when it includes Dr. Dario. It just becomes a little different. I mean, very recently we saw that clip, I don't know if you saw it, where Lambo was streaming and he played a game against TLO. And he could see the creativity coming from a mile away, and there was nothing he could do about it. There was a Ling Bane skirmish on the right top side of Belshire, 3 bases against 3 bases, a very low HP hatchery, and it looked like the roaches were going to be able to protect it. And suddenly, out of nowhere, a Dropper Lord shows up, and you could see at Lambo's face, he's like, oh my god, it's actually going to work as well. Like, that's Dario in a nutshell. You know, he does those things that are really not supposed to be happening in certain phases of the game, but he always gets away with it. It's going to be a fun, weird best of 3 for us. That's the only way we can look at it.
Yeah, definitely. We're just getting geared up to get ready into this series, as all of the players are getting into the lobby. Now, what's interesting is that bracket 2 has already begun, guys, so I can give you a few updates from that bracket. Uthermal went 2-0 against Lego, and then we have Daishi going 2-0 against Optimus so far as well. I'm sorry, Rotterdam.
I'm not hurt.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm not hurt. I was actually talking with Optimus a little bit after the games. I walked by and I could already see that he lost, but I was like, you know, I was like, how did it go? What happened? He's like, yeah, I don't know. He's like, first game I was pretty far ahead. They played on Paladino, apparently, which we haven't seen at all here on the mainstream. He said I was in a great position. I was pretty far ahead, but the drop hit my main, and that's where it all went downhill. I also saw Pili taking the first map against Sordov, and I actually think that's very good news for the North American scene. I mean, I saw a crazy amount of adepts everywhere, but that's kind of an upset in my eyes.
Right, actually, that's a good point that you make there, because Pili and Sordov are facing off against each other in the second round, because we did actually have Roro, Chess, and Hate Me not able to attend the event. Thus, Pili, Sordov, as well as Marine, advanced directly into the next round. But thank you very much, gentlemen. I'll be checking in with you throughout this series as a whole, as we do get ready to find out who our final person to advance from bracket number 1 is going to be. Will it be TLO or will it be Snute? We're about to find out.
Will it indeed be TLO or Snute? Team Liquid, Team Kill coming up here. What's up, Artosis? Are you excited for the ZvZ? I know you love the matchup.
You know, I really do like ZvZ, and I gotta say, that's really cool that it's 21-21 in maps between these two. That's crazy. I didn't know it was actually that close. You always just kind of assume that Snute's winning against everybody, but that just makes it more exciting that this could absolutely go either way.
Absolutely. Really, really tough to call this one. Some of the people at home probably have their guesses there. They're dropping it in Twitch chat right now.
No doubt.
And you know what? We're just going to have to see through the majesty of StarCraft. The 1v1, the best beautiful game in the whole world. It's going to have to go down here, and between these two players, It is just it's too hard to predict for me. I don't even want to say who's going to win. I'm gonna tip it to Snute actually.
Okay.
If I have to. If you twist my arm.
All right. Well, I will twist your arm, but not while we're on camera. Anyways, in the top left of Abyssal Reef, it is the creativity monster himself. It is Liquid TLO.
The Wunderwunsch. And in the bottom right, his teammate. This is Snute. It's really cool that they're both wearing their Team Liquid Guernseys, but they're red and the blue.
Yeah.
The different colors, or pink, I guess.
Yeah, they have all sorts of different colors.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Team Liquid players coming in this weekend, and they're all wearing whatever, I guess, that they wanted to wear. Uthermal, I saw him. He's in the red one, or the pink one, whatever we want to call that color.
So, speaking of Uthermal, sounds like he's doing pretty good in his bracket here.
Well, so what do you think? I mean, you said that you tip your hat towards Snute a bit, but TLO has won more matches overall, even though the games are even.
Yeah, he has. Is that all in Legacy of the Void, though? Sorry, guys, we're just...
Yeah. There were some bright lights on. I don't know. I've barely been up here, so I didn't realize.
Yeah. That was why there was that big awkward gap.
Yeah.
So I pose the question to you again. Is that all in Legacy of the Void? These wins?
I do not know.
Yeah.
I think that it is, because I'm thinking back to the ZvZs I've seen them play in.
It feels like they've definitely played a lot more than that over the 7-year history, or nearly 7-year history of this game.
But, you know, TLO is still practicing hard, still really trying his best to put out those great results. Unfortunately, you know, even though he's been around for so long, oh my God, someone dumped their tires into the ocean.
That's probably
That's
a
so
Terran would
sad.
have done that. It's definitely something that Terrans would do.
Well, Protoss don't have wheels, and neither do Zerg,
Well,
right?
that's the process of elimination right there.
Well, I mean, maybe the Zelnaga do. I don't know. I haven't finished Legacy of the Void yet. Don't spoil it, but maybe they have wheels.
Yeah, you just got to watch out for Space Satan. That's all I'm going to say about Legacy of the Void campaign.
All right. Well, we'll see how this one goes down. TLO kind of expanding over there to the side in that third base location. And Bailing Nest coming up for both players.
Yeah, mirrored builds here pretty much. A few more Lings on the way for Snute here versus TLO. Already has 4 on the floor here, and he's heading across the map right now.
And Snute is getting ready for some aggression. A decent amount of Lings being pumped out at the moment, and with TLO's hatch kind of far away.
Yeah, it's an interesting hatchery location for his natural here. He's sort of taken the where you generally see the third.
Yeah. Like, did Snute actually scout the bases over there? I think he did, didn't he? Oh, yeah, okay, he saw the creep. He saw the creep. Because if he hadn't seen that, this could be almost a little bit more of a defensive play, but for sure it looks like he is going to be attacking, starting drones behind, so it's not a complete all-in.
No, and the weakness of taking this third here is that the queens can't come down and defend. You know, they can't walk down the main without that small amount of creep. There is one already here, but whatever pops out of that hatchery is basically going to be what's left to defend here. It looks like a nice Baneling pick off there. We just saw switch from camera. And Snute's in the main with a lot of speedlings.
Yeah, he is on top of everything right now. Bring the Banes in as well. Oh my God, that Bane gets a pretty decent connection. The Queen's going to fall. A bunch of drones as well.
That's Snute Baneling there.
Oh my God, Snute is doing a lot of damage, but that was a good Baneling connect right there by TLO.
Yeah, but he's dancing between these two bases, and there's one Queen here looking like at the natural of TLO, and these are a lot of hurt drones. One Baneling hit, that's a lot of drone kills here.
And that one does connect, so oh my God.
10 drone kills, GG, and that is that. Snute wins game number 1.
Okay, that was very fast and very furious.
Too fast, too furious, I'd say.
Oh, 7 fast, 7 furious. How many more
I
can
don't
we
even
go?
know what the 7th movie's called, man.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
I think it's Furious 7 or something.
That was Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift right there, if you gotta ask me. But no, that's too bad. Like, TLO kind of expanding to a weird place. I was kind of like busy talking to you and figure out how to turn out the lights, so I didn't. Why did he expand there?
I don't know, because it's actually really easy to scout, because if your Overlord doesn't see
Yeah,
it.
Zerg have Overlords, right?
Exactly.
And they fly, and like, it doesn't cost you anything to send them to sea.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess, if Snute doesn't see that there, he thinks it's one base all in, and TLO can get an edge in that way. But that gives Snute multiple places, multiple angles to attack from, and it's a lot harder to actually defend in spots like that with Ling Bane. So.
And TLO did have his own Banelings to defend, but they seemed like they were at the third, and he wasn't expecting them to go into the main.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's so much surface area there, whereas the ramp, theoretically, you can have banelings at the top, and it's very hard to break through there. So I think I like kind of understand. But that's like almost a little mind game from Snute. It's like, okay, he should really be defending the third as much as possible. Maybe I can break that main ramp.
That's right. A lot of gods here. See the.
I know, right?
Sort of a laser.
Yeah, TLO and Snute. Oh my God, that is just a bunch of ladder killers there, tournament killers as well.
Absolutely. Well, these guys have done well in their past. Arguably none more than these two. TLO and Snute have been around for a very long time. Snute a lot of tournaments under his belt as well. Again, I have to bring up the case, considering here at Intel Extreme Masters Katowice, he is a grand finalist going down to Polt.
That's right.
2016.
Yeah, that was just last year, in fact.
Yep, this time last year.
Yeah, fantastic run. We'd love to do that again. Of course, don't forget, if you win this, you just go straight to BlizzCon.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
It's like,
the
hey,
Global Finals,
you're making a ton of money, as well as, of course, a huge prize pool here.
Yeah. $250,000. $250,000. Just process that. $250,000 is on the line here at this tournament with 76 players and 1 tasteless.
And 1 tasteless. Oh my God. That's the best part, really. The players aren't here for the money. They're here for the GGs from tasteless, no doubt.
Right. And we've had a few meaty GGs here so far at the very start. This is just day 1.
No, it's going to get
5
crazy.
days of meaty GGs at Tosis.
Yeah, until the voice dies off. Well, we're going to go into game 2 pretty quickly coming up. Going to get that game going. And, you know, unfortunately, TLO's little kind of tricky mind game move there on Abyssal Reef not working out for him, giving us a ridiculously fast game 1. But hopefully we can see him rally back here.
Yeah, it looks like the entire world, possibly all the streams here, are in the lobby for game number 2 on Cactus Valley. Thank you for that over-the-shoulder shot there. Production does mean we know what map's coming up.
All right, Cactus Valley. This is a big one, so this definitely could get into quite a nice macro game. Of course, sometimes you see mind games on like a big 4-player map like this where you just rush anyways because your opponent will be greedy, but we'll see, guys. Here we go into game number 2.
Next door neighbor, teammates, going to go down here. And currently, against the ropes in this series, this is TLO.
Of course, his opponent taking that game number 1, looking to fulfill the Roddy prophecy. It is Liquid Snute.
Chilling on match point here. Got himself a qualification to the next stage of this tournament. All he has to do is beat his teammate one more time.
Well, looks like both sides are actually going for pool before hatchery, so that's kind of interesting, right?
Yeah, a little bit of safety, potential aggression as well, depending on how things go.
No gas for TLO, though, so definitely a little bit different in that regard. It seems like a little bit more defensive, whereas Snute, of course, getting that gas can put on the aggression with speed.
Yeah, and it's worked out pretty well for him in the past. I mean, for obviously game number 1, a shining example of getting that speed early, getting across the map and putting that hurt on. Does take an econ hit slightly, though, but not a huge deal.
Yeah. Yeah, that speed definitely can make up for it, and, you know, TLO getting his gas now. I don't think anything crazy is going to happen early on, to be honest, and one of the weird things about Cactus Valley, even though it's like such a big kind of macro map in a lot of ways, all the chokes are so small that you try to attack. It's kind of like Abyssal Reef in that regard, where it's very hard to actually kill someone with roaches here.
Yeah, and a lot of ambush high grounds as well, to be able to have those concaves ready for the unsuspecting opponent that just tries to barge on up there. And, you know, it's a 4-player map, so quite big, potentially huge rush distance. They did get the closer spawns here.
So, I mean, as this goes a little bit later, that's kind of a funny thing for these two matching up because, you know, at this point it's almost like a meme that TLO is creative, right? But it's true. He definitely thinks about the game a little bit differently than most people.
He's earned that moniker, I feel.
He has. He has. And I give +1 TLO to that thought of yours.
I'd up TLO there.
Yeah. Sure. But the thing is, you look at like a very late game ZvZ, right? And then you think about, okay, the mechanics of Snute are really fantastic. He's so good in these late game macro games. But then again, that's where a lot of weird stuff can occur as well, and where creativity can really pay off because there's so much going on. So maybe that's a place where TLO can fight back as well.
That's right. And they've got a big flood of lings here. 10 on the way. Speed just about to finish. Baneling Nest done for Snute.
Baneling Nest coming up right now for TLO. Absolutely no Zergling speed. So it makes it a lot harder to defend.
Yeah, I mean, the banelings are definitely a thing that I feel is very nice for TLO here, to have those banelings to be able to defend, because they are the main thing. He's not going to be able to have the ling count that Snoot's going to have here. And he's going to have to rely on the static defense of his queens to body block that ramp, and for his banelings to get those juicy hits to keep his natural alive.
Ooh, a little bit sloppy losing a drone right there. In fact, a second drone going to go down as well, I think. Trying to make this spine in a really clever position. Has those queens as well, so he should be able to hold. Ooh, yeah. And is that another drone going down? So a couple drones and the spine falling. 3 lings get in. Shouldn't really get too much done, though.
Yeah, not really. They're coming in here and just seeing what's up. They should get cleaned up. A bit of damage done by Snute.
Ooh, that's a little bit painful. He actually needs to clear those out right away.
Yeah.
Seen plenty of games where those turn into Banes, man. You have to hunt them down. But
absolutely.
That speed upgrade, it's a little bit annoying, and he does get the scout off on layer. A very fast layer here for TLO.
Yeah, good scout off. I saw the Roach Warren get dropped there as well on the way out. And Snute deciding to go for the third hatchery, and TLO obviously knows all about that. He does have his Overlord there parked over that third, is aware. But there's not a whole lot TLO can do about it, and Snute knows that.
No, in fact, you know, TLO just canceled the layer. So this is another level of mind game that he's playing right now.
Being creative again.
Yeah, he really does not want these lings to get up into the main base, but he sees the extra gas too, which kind of points towards the layer not being canceled. So this is like a pretty good mind game, I would say, overall by TLO.
Yeah, and Snute didn't go up into the main, so it's working so far. See if it pays off for him. Snute just going for a very regular follow-up here, just getting for a lot of roaches and going for looking like he wants to go for a timing here with these roaches popping out. 10 roaches on the way. Absolutely going to go for a big attack here.
A lot of roaches, a lot of lings. Looks like he probably thinks right now that he's going to be playing against mutas, and thus is kind of preparing for that, right? You want to hit before that Spire is done, force him to make units, force him to turtle up and maybe do some damage. But TLO is making nothing but roaches himself, and he does have that +1 attack on the way.
That's right. So his roaches are actually going to be slightly more powerful than Snoot's. I mean, they do have a bit of time to get over there because they don't have glial reconstitution. It's just slow roaches. And if TLO doesn't overextend, I feel like he's going to be in an alright spot. I mean, these roaches, he wants to fight them off creep here with his queens already all the way out here chasing an Overlord. Transfusion's going down on TLO's roaches, but here come the lings of Snute.
Ooh, the ling's so important right now. That +1 upgrade is not done to 2-shot these lings, so that is a big deal. Some nice micro here, turning roaches into Ravager eggs.
And that one does get taken out before turning into a Ravager. Looks like Snoot's starting to bully back here. He has his own Ravager enjoying the battle. And 22 more Speedlings on the way here for the Norwegian Zerg as he starts to press the issue here.
Oh boy, TLO having to pull so far back at the moment. Luckily, we're so close to his base that I think he can hold this off just with his reinforcements being so close. But, like, Snute just has the advantage here. Don't forget he has his third base.
Absolutely, and TLO's doesn't have that third at all. The Ling's coming in to reinforce, and that makes things pretty hard if you want to, attack move with these roaches. They're just hitting Lings instead of roaches. Speaking of, the Roach Warren is taken out here by Snute, and he's just going to leave.
Oh man, that Roach Warren being killed is a killer as well. Let's not forget, TLO never got Zergling speed, so it's not like he can just start making Zerglings to help out this army.
You got another Roach Warren here for TLO. Has to make that replacement and getting that wall off because a Ling Flood could kill him, and Snute knows this. He's going to try and go for it.
Oh my god.
Oh, he didn't get the other Evo. I think the creep shooter might have been in the way or something.
Yeah, this is rough because he queued it up, and then for some reason it did not occur, and now he's getting surrounded. This game could end very quickly with this huge Ling attack.
I think you might be right, Artosis. I don't know how he's going to deal with this. He doesn't have his own roaches. The roaches that he does have are going for attack, and Snute is all over this like flies on poop. Done.
Wow. Yeah, no, you're very right about that. And GG is called. TLO unfortunately falls in 2 very fast games to his teammate Snute.
Yeah. He has GG, but they're just having a chat here. They're next to each other in the booth with a separator. So, and no love lost between these two. Big friends, teammates, brothers in arms.
Yeah.
But there can be only one. This is StarCraft.
That is true. Well, unless one of them went through the winner bracket. But, Snute wins. I think a lot of people were expecting this anyways. Snute, Hearthstone, and Stats being kind of the favorites of the group. And at the end of the day, they do get out. Snute had kind of a hard run, but some solid games there at the end. And unfortunately, the mind games that TLO tried in both games just absolutely backfired.
Yeah, Snute just really kind of crushed him in that series. If I'm honest here, it was very one-sided in both games. Really made, all of his decisions were correct. That's basically what StarCraft looks like when you make all the correct decisions.
No, totally. Like attacking immediately up the main ramp in game number 1 was fantastic, and then just the fact that he went into units. He's like, okay, are you going to base Muta? I guess I'll just like kind of make some units and put some pressure on here. And unfortunately for TLO, that caught his move out.
And that is going to be it for TLO in this tournament. And Snute moves on, and we're getting in the next qualifier group. But guys, I'm going to take a short break here, but don't go away. I'm going to go with the boys in the panel straight afterwards.